Good afternoon. Our pharmacy longitudinal research project is titled National Survey of Pharmacy Services Offered in Student-Run Free Clinics. Student-run free clinics are an excellent interprofessional learning environment for students in the healthcare field. The Building Relationships and Initiatives dedicated to gaining equality or bridge clinic at USF was established in 2007 by the College of Medicine, and 5 years later, the College of Pharmacy joined. The addition of pharmacy services has been slow, stagnant, and remains inconsistent. Some of the challenges that we face are due to this physical logistics, also with clinical environment, but there's also other corresponding barriers. It is hypothesized that through assessing the role of pharmacy and other student-run free clinics around the United States, it will provide us insight as to what services may provide value within the bridge clinic. Right now, there is no published data describing the number of pharmacy schools and colleges who participate in student-run free clinics. Student-run free clinics are very prevalent in the United States medical schools. Right now, there are currently 144 Association of American Medical College, and 106 of these have one student-run free clinic. There was a recent survey that was done that noted that 81 of 86 programs that were provided pharmacy services. Specific details about the available pharmacy services was not provided. So the objectives of our poster are to quantify the number of schools and colleges of pharmacy involved in student-run free clinics in the United States, to identify the types of pharmacy services being provided at student-run free clinics, to identify various disciplines participating in these clinics and at what extent they collaborate with pharmacy, and lastly, to establish the types of workflow in student-run free clinics.
For the methods and procedures, we did a cross-sectional analysis and we used a Qualtrics system survey. The questions were derived from the literature, and we distributed the survey out to the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy across the nation. The pharmacy practice department chair were the people that we targeted, and the survey questions included dichotomous responses, multiple choice, and open-ended responses as well. Internal validation will include questions reviewed by students and faculty to ensure appropriate grammar and clarity.
Now for the results of our project. We found that 43 institutions responded to our survey. 53% were public institutions and 47% were private. 52% of the public institutions were involved in student-run free clinics. However, only 31% of private institutions had involvement. 55% involved in student-run free clinics only had one clinic site, 28% had 2 to 5 clinic sites, and 17% had more than 5 clinic sites. For the type of medical records used, 48% used paper-based records, 39% used electronic health records, and 13% used another system for medical records. For the clinic location, we found that 26% utilized homeless shelters to provide services, whereas only 11% use a community clinic. The chart on the top of the results section, titled Pharmacy Services, shows the pharmacy services provided at the student-run free clinics. 100% of the clinics provide patient education and/or counseling, and just over half of the clinics provide the other services listed here. Only 44% of the clinics provide prescription medications at the clinic. The next chart, titled Disciplines Involved in Student-Run Free Clinics, shows the breakdown of disciplines participating in the clinics. Since we only reached out to pharmacy schools to participate in our survey, it makes sense that 100% have pharmacy involvement. You can also see that medicine participates in 89% of the student-run free clinics, and nursing participates in 83%. Physical therapy participates in 44%, and public health only participates in 39%. When assessing how often pharmacy recommendations are accepted by the team, we found that 44% of clinics responded that 100% of their recommendations were accepted, and 19% said that 75% of their recommendations are accepted. The pie chart on the left, titled Pharmacy Student-Patient Encounters, shows that 58.8% of pharmacy students have a shared patient interview with the interprofessional team. 23.5% of clinics have the pharmacy students interview the patients alone, and 6% of clinics only allow the pharmacy students to observe the interview. The pie chart on the right, titled Pharmacy Referral Process, shows that 62.5% of student-run free clinics have the pharmacy team see all patients. 12.5% only allow chart review without a patient interview, and 18.8% of clinics have pharmacy see patients only after referral. When assessing the challenges of operating a student-run free clinic, we found that the majority of programs listed funding and preceptor participation to be the most challenging aspects of the clinic. For the institutions that do not have a student-run free clinic, 46% said that this was due to a lack of facility, 46% noted a lack of funding or resources, and 4% said that they did not have a clinic due to lack of faculty interest.
As involvement in student-run free clinics is very beneficial to the professional and academic development of pharmacy students, it is important to quantify the number of pharmacy colleges and schools who have chosen to provide these services to their students. It is also essential to identify the pharmacy services that are provided at each of these clinics in order to determine what kind of learning experiences these pharmacy students are gaining. So, understanding which disciplines are involved in the clinic and how they collaborate with pharmacy, we can determine the importance of each of these disciplines to the clinic and how each discipline utilizes pharmacy's knowledge and services. Because because the actual research was a survey which required the participation of the faculty of the different clinics, not all of the schools actually responded, which could have changed the results of the survey, which obviously is a limitation. The survey looked at the roles of pharmacy in student-run free clinics from the viewpoints of practitioners. Therefore, one of the future researches could be looking at patient satisfaction with services provided, along with what other services they would be interested in seeing at the clinic. Another possible research could be incorporating an interprofessional team method into Bridge Clinic and investigating patient satisfaction, wait time, and overall clinical outcome. In conclusion, this project revealed a few differences between pharmacy practices seen at Bridge Clinic compared to the other student-run free clinics around the U.S. It was found that 60% of students interview patients interprofessionally versus 24% of pharmacy students that interview solo. Therefore, incorporating this practice in Bridge Clinic will not only increase the number of patients available to receive pharmacy services, but it will also decrease patient time at the clinic, making it more desirable for patients to return. It was also observed that over 50% of the student-run free clinics offer immunization and medicine, something that Bridge Clinic currently does not offer. Lastly, of the total number of responses received for this research, approximately 50% of the pharmacy schools were not involved in a student-run free clinic. Overall, it was seen that the involvement of pharmacy programs within a student-run free clinic will open windows for pharmacy students to get the hands-on experience needed. It will also expose pharmacy in a light other than a discipline that just dispenses drugs.